Hey everyone, welcome to another video. This video is going to be a new makeup update. I'm going to be telling you how I feel about products that I did a first impression on, but since then have used a bit more. So let's get into it. So first up, let's start with the thing that I have on my eyes right now. I have done so many looks with this to kind of figure out how I feel about it, because I have some mixed feelings and I just had to make sure what was going on, and I still feel like I could be doing more looks, but I've already done so many looks and I haven't really said anything about this in the meantime, so I just wanted to update you on this, but this might not be my absolute final review of this one. So this is the Blend Bunny Cosmetics Sugar and Grunge palette. It's such a cool color story because it's very cool toned, but it's also very grungy. We go from light to dark. We have some beautiful shades in here. I am wearing it on my eyes today. I don't remember if I said that, but I went into the blues, a little bit of purple, this peachy tone over here. And the thing with this palette is the mattes are really pigmented. I've done some beautiful looks with it. I have really quite enjoyed the mattes, even though today I do see a little bit of dryness on my lids from using these mattes, so they emphasize a little bit of texture, but overall I've really enjoyed the mattes. Like, these pastels are really poppy. The dark shades are really easy to blend. Like, these are some really nice shades. The thing that I am mostly not sure about is these shimmers, because every time I wear these shimmers they crease on me, and I usually do not have this problem. I do have pretty oily eyelids, or really oily eyelids, but I have a primer where usually shimmers don't crease on me. It's not an issue. And then with this, I just was walking around with completely greasy, creased eyelids, even when I put it in the inner corner, even when I put it down here where I don't have oiliness, it's still creased. So every time I used the shimmers, it was a creasy mess, but every time I used the mattes, I was quite happy with the look, and I am quite happy with the look that I did today, even though, yeah, looks just slightly dry, but I can forgive them because the blend is really nice. I feel like the shades are just very pigmented, and yeah, for the most part I like this eyeshadow palette, but I was hoping to really love it because I've heard everyone raving about this, and I did. I wanted to love it, and now I'm a bit unsure if this is the brand for me. Like, I did think that this was gonna be my new favorite palette, and now I'm a bit unsure about it. And I love the color story of their new release, what I've seen on Instagram, but I think maybe I should stay away. At least they don't put that many shimmers in the palette. Okay, next one is pretty random. This is the Flower Nose. I believe this is from the Circus collection, and these are kind of like their lip clays, the matte liquid lipsticks. I don't even know if they're really available anymore, but I was just curious to see what their take on a clay liquid lipstick was, because I tried the ones from Cacao and didn't really like them. I thought they were too drying and they make my lips look like smaller than they actually are. And I got the shade 02, but as I said, I don't know if these are still available, so this is really for the future. If you want to try something like this from them, I'm sure they're gonna come back with something like this. So this is kind of like a mauve shade, 02, and then we also have 03, which is a little bit more of a terracotta darker nude. I have to say these are better. I like these better than the Cacao ones because they're a little bit more creamy, but they're still pretty long wearing. I think they're quite comfortable. They look quite nice on the lips. I'm not entirely sure if this type of liquid lipstick is my favorite type of liquid lipstick, but for what they are, these are really nice. And then the Too Faced Cacao Bold lipstick. I tried the shade Chocolate Strawberry. I saw this in store like about a year ago at this point, and I thought that they all looked really good. Like, all the shades looked really good, the swatches looked really good, and I was intrigued, but it took me some time to actually buy one because I usually don't really delve into that price range for lipsticks, because I have lipsticks that I really love, around like 15 euros or maybe 18 euros, but this one is like 24-25 euros, so it's a bit up there for me. But I really like the idea of this shade. I swatched them and I love them. So this shade is a very cool tone pink, and it is very creamy. I would say it's a pretty nice lipstick. Like, it's really creamy, it's a beautiful shade, it lasts quite a long time, it looks good on the lips. Like, it's a really nice formula, but this particular shade is a bit hard to wear, even for me. Like, I am quite light, and cool tone pinks tend to be my type of shades. Like, I've really gotten into them even more this year. Cool tone pinks usually look quite natural on me, but this pulls even more cool tone pink on the lips, and it actually looks in a swatch. So be careful, be aware when you buy this shade. It is one that you kind of have to manipulate a little bit, wear it with the right color combo, like lip combo, with the right lip pencil, but when you do, it's a really nice lipstick. And I also really like this packaging, like, it's really cool. And then another thing that I am wearing today is the lip products that Lunar Beauty came out with. Manny came out with some new lipsticks, matte lipsticks, and I got two lip liners, but he came out with lip liners. And I'm wearing these today. I'm wearing milk tea lip liner. So this is kind of like this contour for the lips kind of shade, a neutral brown. Adds a little bit of dimension, and then I combined it with the lipstick in blushing. The actual packaging of the lipstick is really cool. You have this moon that's very like detailed front, and then you kind of like click it open, and then also inside you have really cool embossing. I don't know if you can really see it from there, but I have a video swatching the shades from this Lunar Beauty lip line, and I'm also showing you some close-ups in that video. But this shade blushing is kind of like this peachy pink nudish shade, very natural, very my lips but better. It is absolutely beautiful. I love how my lips look today, and I have been wearing these, I've been using these, I've been especially wearing these lip pencils a lot. I really love these lip pencils. Like, Milk Tea is my new like go-to lip pencil, but I've also used Stormy lip pencil surprisingly a lot, because I feel like if I wear a lip product, like any lip product that is kind of like leaning into the pink, if I apply that lip product first and then kind of go in and just add a little bit of dimension with this along the lines where I need it, so not put this down first, because then it can be a little bit too pigmented. But when I use it like that, I've really enjoyed it. These lip pencils have this beautiful consistency where they're not too creamy, but also not too stiff and tuggy. They're right in between, beautifully pigmented. I've really enjoyed these. And yeah, the lipsticks, they're beautiful. They are matte, but they feel creamy. They feel really comfortable. They look beautiful on the lips. They're beautiful shades. Should I show you all of these? We have Stormy, which is a beautiful red pink kind of bright shade. I also got the shade Doodle, which is more of a cool toned like pinky mauve shade, which is something I really enjoy wearing. And then we also have shade Icon, which is the shade that I saw Manny wearing in his TikToks, and I was like, okay, I really need that new lip. But he was like, I'm working on it. He was being pretty, or did he even say that? He was just very mysterious about it, but this ended up being the shade. And this is a light cool tone nude, which I have been really enjoying. I think these types of shades are so cool with a little bit of a darker lip liner, just blend it in, and then it just looks so nice and cool and like a nude that I would really enjoy. I feel like nudes usually lean quite peach. This one leans a little bit more cool toned. Next up, we have the Kiko Milano Irresistible Total Look Face Powder Palette in 01. I did a video about it pretty recently, but there are 6 shades in here that I've been using quite consistently. I'm using the lightest highlighter in this today on my cheeks as my highlight. So I really like the formula of this palette. It is what I expected from Kiko. It is what we usually see in these types of face palette by them, with this packaging and these pen shapes. Like, it's what you would expect, but that formula is actually one of my favorites. I really love it. What I really like about this palette is that we have a warmer and a cooler tone highlighter. We have 2 different colors of blush, but they're also different formulas. One is very shiny, one is matte, and then we also have a more cool toned and a more neutral toned bronzer. And I think like this is such an easy palette to travel with. It's beautiful, it's stunning. The formula is kind of like powdery in the pan, but then when you apply it, it kind of looks creamy on the cheeks. The bronzers are not extremely glowy, but they are very skin-like, and I feel like that is the thing with this palette. It just looks very flattering and skin-like, and even the products that are meant to be very glowy, they just look very smooth on the skin and not chunky or glittery or weird. So I really like this face palette. I would recommend it. Next up, I tried some of the Kiko Milano lip balms. So these are lightly tinted lip balms, and I kind of just wanted to try another lip formula because I really like the jelly stylos, and I wanted to see what was the difference. And what I think personally is the difference is that these are less thick. Like they're thin, they do have some pigment, like they do have some of that, but it's definitely more balmy and less jelly. Like it feels like you're applying just your regular lip balm. Like it's pretty thin, it will probably fade a little bit quickly, like a little bit more quickly than a actual lipstick. It is just this very easy to throw on, a very lightweight type of product. By the way, this is a swatch of a raspberry or blackberry. I also have the shade Tutti Frutti, which is more of a bright pink, and I also have the shade Almond, which is more of a kind of like brownie mauve shade, like so. I think personally I like the jelly stylos a bit more. Those feel more like what you usually have when you buy a shiny stick lipstick. They're just a little bit more thick. They just feel a little bit more like substantial on the lips. These are just very thin. And I have pretty dry lips, so I like a lip product that's a little bit more thick than this. I do think that a lot of people are gonna like these lip balms because they're quite nice and easy and affordable. Like I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of people out there that love these, but I personally would go for the jelly stylo. Then the Kiko Milano Create Your Balance collection. I tried 5 things out of this collection. One I am wearing today as well is the Create Your Balance Contour Boost Powder Blush in 02 Tireless Pink. This is a very beautiful cool toned pink, but there's something a little bit grounded about it. It's something where it's just not as neon or not as light as the cool toned pinks that are very trending right now, which makes it a little bit more wearable, which makes it almost a little bit rosy, but also not, because it's still a very cool toned pink. There's just something in it that makes it a little bit softer, and I've really enjoyed it. It's this very perfecting formula. Like it's a matte that looks skin-like, that doesn't look dry and just kind of smooths over the skin, which I personally really love. And then I also tried the Gaze Defining Eyeshadow Duo 02 Ready Set Go. I have gotten a lot of questions what I was wearing on my eyes when I had this on my eyes. I had a few videos that I filmed with this duo on my eyes, and people were really excited about it, and I do understand it because the shimmer in here is very beautiful, very dimensional, kind of sparkly, but in a very sophisticated way. The matte in here is not on its own an amazing matte. Like it's workable, you can work with it, you can blend it into that shimmer. Like this together does work quite well. But the shimmer is the star of the show, and it looks very nice, beautiful, dimensional on the eyes. And this is just a very easy on the go, like you don't really have to think about it eyeshadow duo. So I would recommend it, but just know what you're buying, know that it's mainly about that shimmer. Then I believe I'm also wearing this one today. So this is the Create Your Balance Color Boost Face Bronzer in 01 Sienna. This is a beautiful neutral toned matte bronzer, which is once again very skin-like. The formula of this one is very similar to the blush, and I really love Kiko Milano bronzers, and this is no exception. I have used this quite a bit since I filmed that video, and I've really enjoyed it. It's really nice, it's a beautiful color. I feel like a lot of people are gonna like this because it's very neutral. It's not too cool, it's not too warm. There's also a deeper shade in this collection. I really like this one. Then the Create Your Balance Soft Touch Lip and Cheek. I have tried it on the lips. I feel like it isn't hydrating enough for the lips. I feel like it's just too thin of a layer where I just miss a little bit of hydration personally. I feel like maybe if you have really hydrated lips naturally, I don't have those, but if you have those, then this could be for you. This could work on your lips. I like it for the cheeks because it's just very effortless. It's buildable, it's blendable. You can just like even apply your finger, just apply a little drop, just work it into your skin and it looks really nice. It's just a super easy product. And I think that is the main thing with this product, that is making me feel like, that's actually really good, because it's just so easy. It's a no-brainer. You don't have to think about it. It is just very quick to blend. You can just like pop on a dot and just blend it out with a brush or whatever, and then it just looks very nice. It's not super pigmented, but it looks good. Then we have the Pen Lipstick and 3D Lip Primer. This is the last thing I've tried from the Create Your Balance collection. So on one side we have this, what would you call it, slim lipstick, slim matte lipstick. And then on the other side we have this primer, which is this liquidy sheer thing primer that has no color to it whatsoever. The lipstick of this on its own is not comfortable. You do need to use the primer. I do feel like using the primer before the lipstick is the best way to go. Like, that's also how it is described on the product, but that is the actual truth. I tried it different ways, but I just feel like you need the primer first because the actual lipstick is a bit dry. That does make this lip product quite sheer, like quite natural. It's not an impactful, like pigmented, crazy colorful lip product. It's just very natural, and if you like use the two steps together, it's quite nice. I do feel like I personally have lip products that have one step and it gives me an even better effect, or the same effect. I feel like it's a little bit of a hassle. You're not really getting anything very special for that extra step. Alright, two more Kiko Milano products. As you know, if you follow me, I always try all of the Kiko Milano. It's just my thing. I really love the brand, love what they do, love the quality, and they come out with interesting things that you also want to see. So I tried another shade of the Unlimited Double Touch. I tried a very bright pink shade at the start of the year. I hated it. It looked uneven. It was really hard to apply. So I decided to get the shade 120, and I just wanted to see if it was that particular color or if I didn't like the whole range, because these are very popular. Like, people really like these. And I have decided that it was that particular color, because when I wore this, it actually looked beautiful on the lips. It was very comfortable. It looked very smooth. Like, you can still see, if you look really closely, that the actual like color part is kind of like this sticky product. Like, really closely. It's nothing, there's nothing about this that bothers me. The application was really easy. The glossy part of this is very comfortable. It just looks beautiful on the lips and it feels really nice and it stays on, and I really loved the look of this when I wore it. So yeah, might even try a few more shades. But I've been buying too many lip products already, honestly. And then I also got another Little Mermaid product. Like, I showed you this in a haul already. This is the Kiko Milano Little Mermaid Creamy Lip Stylo in 01 Fairy Tale Lips, because I really love the lip stylos from Kiko Milano. If they do the creamy lip stylos, I really love them, but I did not realize they had them in this collection. And then I saw the shade and I was like, okay, I need to get this because I love it. This is kind of like this rosy, like a soft red shade almost, but it's also a little bit pinky, and it's just very beautiful, creamy. It looks very flattering on lips. It's a gorgeous shade and it lasts very long. That's the thing that I love about the lip stylos by Kiko Milano from their limited editions. They are beautiful, pigmented, comfortable, but they still last on the lips. And then a product that I've had since March, but because it wasn't new, I kind of forgot about it a little bit. It was just in the back of my to try basket. But I would say that this formula is very similar to the lip styler by Kiko Milano. Even the packaging is very similar. Like, this is the Maracuja Juicy Lipstick by Tarte. I got the shade Hibiscus, and it is basically the same thing. It is creamy, it is pigmented, but it still stays on for a long time. It's very flattering on the lips. This shade is a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more bright, a little bit more red, I think. I think the Kiko might be, I think the Kiko is a little bit more soft, but now I have to compare. Like, just look at these packagings. This is basically the same thing. Do these get made in the same factory? Like, so similar. Or did Kiko try and dupe them? So these are the two shades. Okay, maybe I have identical lipsticks from different brands. Okay, I have to say the Tarte one is a little warmer and the Kiko one is a little bit more pinky. Like, there's a difference, but I probably didn't need both because they have very similar effects. But okay, I think that's good to know. If you like the Tarte Maracuja Juicy lipsticks, then Kiko Milano has a cheaper alternative when it comes to their lip stylus. Very, very similar. Then we have two cream liquid blushes, which kind of have the same problem for me. Let's start with the Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is a stick cream blush in a very bright warm peach shade. This is the shade Nectarine, and I have been looking at this for such a long time, and I finally went for it. I finally was like, okay, let's do it. I've been thinking about it for so long, and then I realized that this pulls very, very orange on me. I was hoping for it to pull peachy, but it just, because of my skin tone, my undertone, everything, it just pulls very orange. And every time I've worn it, I just didn't really like my makeup. It's just not for me. I was really hoping that I could be the person that looks good in this type of shade, because I think it looks kind of like cool, like it's almost kind of neon. It just looks very fresh like this, but when I apply it, it just looks like I have applied a way too orangey bronzer, and it's just not it for me. The actual quality of this is really nice. It's easy to blend, it does dry down, it's not sticky. It's just a very effortless cream bronzer, but the color just throws me off every time. And then the Charlotte Tilbury Pinkgasm Beauty Light Wand in Pinkgasm Sunset. I was confused for a second, but yeah, it's Pinkgasm, but it's Pinkgasm Sunset. So when they announced this, when Charlotte Tilbury announced this, I was like, that is so up my alley. Like, I'm gonna love this. I really like the Pinkgasm, the original. This is just a little bit more warm, a little bit more bronzy. This just looks orange on me. There's a lot of bronze, there's a lot of orange in this product, and it's not actually that pink. Like, I thought it was gonna be more pink, but it just pulls very, very bronzy, very, very orange on me. I feel like this is something that's gonna look good on people with a bit more of a medium skin tone that lean a little bit more warm. In the end, this wasn't for me, but not because I don't like the formula, because the formula is really nice. It's just this particular shade, not my shade. A blush that I have really enjoyed and that I'm actually wearing today, it's just beautiful, it's the Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush in 01 Shimmery Rose. It is actually a really, really beautiful kind of sheer glowy, I would say, blush topper. I like to combine this with other blushes because it is very like light. There's some color to it, but it's very light, and I just love it to kind of have this veil of shimmer on top of another blush. It just meshes everything together, makes everything look very smooth. I think that is the thing, because sometimes I just feel like, my cheeks, they're missing something. And then I take out this one, I apply it on top, and it just looks amazing right away. Like, this is a problem solver. This is something that will really make your skin look amazing. A little bit of a disappointing product is the Moira Set and Correct Loose Setting Powder in 05 Rose Pink. I was really excited to try a rose pink powder, and I was pretty positive about this. In the video where I tried it, I did not have any complaints yet, but I was just using it, and I really went into this powder. Like, I really tried it, and I just started to notice that it left a little bit of a weird film on my skin. Like, it felt very like powdery, it felt very like almost slippery. I don't really know how to describe it, but it just didn't feel like skin. It felt like this really weird texture on top of the skin, and I just didn't love that. I also grabbed my powder that I usually use and I tested that to see if it had the same effect, the same feeling. It didn't have it. And I just feel like this is not really the powder that you want to combine with other products. I feel like a powder that just makes your skin still feel a little like skin, where it still has a little bit of grip almost to it. I feel like that plays together with other products a little better. This one, I just, it's not bad, but it's also not amazing, and I feel like I can still look around for other powders. I just didn't feel like it did a lot, and it just, yeah, had this weird feeling on my skin. Then another Moira product. This is the Stay Golden Cream Bronzer in 01 Light. This is actually a beautiful formula. It works really well. It blends out really well. It's a beautiful bronzer. It is just too warm for me. It just pulls too orange on me. If they came out with this in a different shade, I would enjoy it. But like this, it's just not entirely up my alley. Like next to that, I don't have any complaints. Like the packaging is quite nice for the price. It works well. It's just not for me personally. So if you're looking for a warm bronzer, maybe this could be for you. It's very affordable. The Strawberry Shortcake blush by Glamlite. This was a pretty random purchase, but I was just looking around for these types of pink shades to see which one would be the best for me, which one I would like. Am I missing out on the trend? So I decided to grab this one for like scientific purposes. And yeah, it is very bright, quite poppy on the cheeks. It is very matte, but it's not like super flat. It does look flattering. It is quite a bright blush. I quite like this. I think it's quite a nice blush. Just looking at myself personally, I think that the blush from the Create Your Balance collection is a little bit more easy to combine for me with different looks. Like this is a little bit more neon. It's still a beautiful blush. It's just is a little bit brighter than some of the other options we have in this color. Alright, a few things to go. Next up, we have the Laura Los Angeles Blush Aesthetic Palette. I think this is quite a nice blush palette. I mean, the shades in here are quite nice. The highlighter in here is stunning. It is kind of like sheer, so it looks a little scary in the pan, but in the end it works quite well on my fairly light skin. I have enjoyed using this palette. I think it's quite a nice palette. Do I feel like it's an absolute must for me? I don't think so. What the reason is for that? I think it's the color choices, because there's nothing wrong with this formula. It's nice, it blends. I've liked my cheeks wearing this. I just feel like this bridal pink is so light. Like it's doable. Like it shows up on me, but it's very light. And I feel like the two light pinks, maybe they didn't have to be in here, like both of them. And then this one is really, really dark, the Sangria shade, and I have to be really careful with that. I feel like if this was a little bit smaller maybe, or had some different shades, I don't really know how to explain it. I cannot fully describe my true feelings about this blush palette apparently, but I've used it a bunch and I had to update you on this. The thing is, there aren't really shades in here that pull me in immediately. I feel like there are maybe 3 shades that I would go back for. And then we have an 8-pan palette. I feel like it's a little bit redundant for me. It's not my perfect shades, even though I quite like the formula. The packaging itself is a little bit on the basic side. I think the problem is that I have also tried part of the thing is that I've also recently tried the Full Fantasy blush palette, the Lunar Beauty X Laura Lee blush palette, and I've loved this so much. And I feel like the color choices in this are absolutely perfect, and I feel like the amount of shades in here is also like makes it just a bit more easy to use. Like all of these shades are very different, serve a different purpose. I mean, they're not similar here. All of them I want to use in different types of looks. Like this is very clear to me. I love the shades in this. I love the 2 highlighters. They are very different. We have a pinky one, we have a champagne one. I really like this peachy blush. It's just perfect for more warm tone looks. I wasn't sure how I'd feel about this Sand Baby blush. It looks a little dark, but in the end it's this beautiful neutral brown, almost a little rosy, or there's something about it. Very wearable brown blush. It has really gotten me thinking about brown blush, like should I try it more? This one is a little bit harder to wear. I have to be a little bit more careful with it because it's quite pigmented and I'm a little bit, like maybe a little bit slightly too fair for this. I have to mix it a little bit with something else. Pink Blossom is a gorgeous, gorgeous light pink, bright pink shade. I think this is just a beautiful blush palette. Everything in here works amazingly and the color story is just so inspiring to me and so different, and there's just a clear reason for me to dip into this because I don't have these shades just lying around in my collection. This is just very unique. And with this one, I'm just a little unsure what to do. Like, the shades don't fully call to me. And I feel like maybe if I had gotten that around another time, maybe I would have felt a little different about it. But who knows, who knows. I'm just saying things at this point. Alright, we are moving on to the Full Fantasy collection. The brushes in this collection are absolutely amazing. I have enjoyed them so much. The blush brush, this is my new like daily blush brush. This is the perfect shape, the perfect size. It just works so well. It's really nice and soft. The brushes are also beautiful. This one I haven't used as much, but it's really nice for kind of like this blush topper or adding some powder or blending out my blush. This is my new favorite highlighter brush because it's a little bit more dense. It's just like it's a little bit more stiff almost, which I really like for highlighters, and you can use it like this or like this. I've really enjoyed it. It's just the density of the hairs and how soft they are but not flimsy. It's just amazing. Then we have the eyeshadow brushes. I have been enjoying these as well. I do have to say the face brushes have been my absolute favorites, and these are quite nice. But I don't feel like these are gonna be my absolute new staples. Now that I'm done reviewing them, they are just gonna be in the rotation, but these face brushes, they are gonna be my daily go-tos. Then the lipsticks from this collection, we have the Mara lipstick, which is this kind of like peachy pink, easy to wear kind of color. I really like it. This formula is a bit more creamy than the lipsticks from Lunar Beauty. They are a little bit more shiny, creamy, still pigmented, but a different type of wear. Definitely, they do stay on, like they wear off a little bit, like the shine wears off a little bit, but the pigment is not just disappearing from your face, which is really nice. And then we have the shade Lenny, which is a cool tone nude, very similar to Icon, but this one is creamy. I do have to say that Icon from the matte lipstick line is a little bit more easy to wear because a very light, cool toned pinkish shade like this on my lips at least can emphasize some texture. It does emphasize a little bit of texture, so I have to be a bit careful how I use it when I use it, but the color is really nice. The formula is beautiful. I do think that I'm gonna use Mara the most because it's just so easy to wear. But both lipsticks are really pretty. And then the Full Fantasy eyeshadow palette, the color palette. I really love this one. I have done so many fun looks with this. I've gone more green, more purpley, more blue, more neutral. I think this is the perfect fall eyeshadow palette if you love neutrals, but you want to add a little bit of a pop of color. You want something a little bit unexpected. You want to do something a little bit more like glamorous out there. I think this is a beautiful formula. We have some more satin shades in here than we usually have in Manny's palettes. Like usually the Lunar Beauty formula is more like this shade, for example, over here, very shiny, but social here. This is a satin, so we have some satin shades, but the satin shades still look beautiful on the eyes, are still very pigmented, and I do enjoy a little bit of this difference in texture in this palette actually, because you can also kind of like layer the shades, add some dimension, just put a little bit of a sparkly shade on top of a satin shade. I've really enjoyed this palette, this color story. The looks that I've done with it were just out of this world, beautiful, really loved it. Then I think the last thing for this roundup review, I wasn't sure if I should review this product. And I was like, it's a little different than what I have used before. Like these have color, and the ones, the lip oils from Lunar Beauty that I had, they didn't really have color. So I was like, alright, let's throw it in. So this is a Love Me lip oil, and this is quite brightly pigmented. Like this is quite a out there shade. Just look at that. It is pigmented. It's beautiful. Like the formula is beautiful. It's just as beautiful as their non-colored lip oils. And yeah, it's just a really fun pop of gloss, like red gloss. I've really enjoyed wearing these like end of the summer. I think it's really nice for the like strawberry look kind of makeup. And yeah, that's gonna be everything for today's video. This is everything that I wanted to update you on. There's some things that I might come back to that I'm just a little bit unsure about still, but yeah, we're gonna see about that. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe, and then I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.